Every year in the month of March, we observe the Women's History Month to celebrate contributions and achievements of women throughout history. And in relation to this, later on tonight, I'll be hosting Teresa Njoroge, the CEO of Clean Start Kenya, when we will be delving deep into this year's International Women's Day campaign themed Inspire Inclusion. And this is a conversation you do not want to miss. So stay with us till the end of our bulletin tonight. And my name is Gloria Musimbi, and on the sign language interpretation is Boniface Mirithi. Making headlines, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has said that Kenya is in the final touches of deploying 1,000 officers to Haiti, while noting that Kenyan police officers will be part of the multinational security mission in Haiti. This comes after Kenya and Haiti earlier this month signed a bilateral agreement to deploy the police officers.
The status is as you know it. There was a small court matter. That small matter has been resolved because the court said we needed to have a reciprocal agreement with Haiti. That reciprocal agreement has already been signed about a week ago. So we are now in the pre-deployment stage. All the other programs are in place, including the status of forces agreement and the laws on detention, arrests, and other enforcement measures are now in place. The standard operation procedures are in place, and Kenyan police officers will be just part of the multinational security mission in Haiti. Kenya is the lead nation, but there are so many other countries that have pledged to contribute troops. And this came from the mandate of the United Nations Security Council. So it's part of our international obligations. The court matter has been addressed.
Still on security matters, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has announced that from now on, the law on the control of safe areas will be used to deal with criminals who destroy the SGR railway by removing the rails and selling them as scrap metal. In addition, Kindiki has pointed out that the law will also be used to protect water reservoirs in the country to prevent crimes that can harm people and animals that depend on water. He was speaking in Makueni County during the official inauguration of Kiambu Sub-County, where he also appointed Teresa Mburu as Deputy County Commissioner of Kiambu. And our very own Abigail Nabude reports.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has put on notice criminal elements who destroy the standard gauge railway line and announced that from now on, the law on the control of safe areas will be used to deal with the criminals. Kindiki has pointed out that the law will also be used to protect water reservoirs in the country to prevent crimes that can harm people and many animals that depend on the water. According to Kindiki, the laws that are used to protect the State House are the same as those that protect other government assets. And as the government continues to wage war against the sale of illicit alcohol and substance abuse, CS Kindiki maintained that they will have to seek for fresh licenses in order to continue with their businesses.
Ya hizi vileo vya sumu ambavyo vinawekwa katika chupa, watoto wanakunywa na kuzirai. Si ni kweli? Hiyo tumesema kama serikali ya kwamba vileo ambavyo havijahitimu viwango vya afya na viwango vya usalama wa umma, vileo hivi tumefunga viwanda vyote ambavyo vinatengeneza vileo hivyo katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. We have shut down all second generation manufacturers and distillers, and they have to apply afresh, so that only those who meet quality and public health standards can be licensed.
Meanwhile, Kindiki has issued an order for the immediate transfer of police officers who have served in one place for more than 3 years.
Already. Na hiyo ni lazima. Hakuna hata officer mmoja ataepuka hiyo sera. No single officer will escape that policy. It's a national security policy to protect our country. Kwa sababu kama umekaa station moja miaka 12, miaka 7, miaka 17 ulikuja ukiwa kijana ukafungua buchari hapo, ukaoa msichana wa hiyo village. Sasa bibi yako ako hapo, your father-in-law ako hapo. How do you expect to enforce the law against your father-in-law? Si utakuwa conflict of interest. So wale 3 years and above, under every county security team. I'm now in Makueni. I hope County Commissioner Henry Wafula and your team with the CPC here tuweke bidii zaidi. Katika sehemu nyingine nimeenda, sehemu nyingi katika taifa la Kenya, kuna malalamiko mengi kuhusu utendakazi wetu. Uwajibike ukiwa assistant chief, ukiwa chief, ACC, DCC, ukiwa police officer, ukiwa OCS, ukiwa AP commander, ukiwa county commissioner. Wajibika, ujue hiyo uniform na hiyo crown umevaa sio ya maridadi na sio ya kuumiza wananchi, ni ya kuhudumia wananchi. Hii nguvu tumepewa ya serikali ni ya kulinda wananchi, sana sana wasiojiweza.
Abigail Namude reporting for Hope TV Newswatch.
Elsewhere, President William Ruto has urged Kenya Kwanza MCAs to understand the political alliance's manifesto so that they can explain it to the Kenyans at the grassroots level. He also urged MCAs to mobilize farmers for registration in their respective wards to streamline proper distribution of subsidized fertilizer to unregistered farmers. He expressed the government's commitment to implementing a host of programs aimed at transforming the lives of Kenyans, and he cited subsidized fertilizer, universal healthcare, housing, and ICT hubs, among others.
Na sasa Your Excellency, kwa sababu tumekupatia mimi Your Excellency, na kuomba wewe ni baba ya hawa wa MCAs, kuja uambie yale mambo ambayo tumesema, na kwa sababu ni mambo mazuri, tukitoka hapa tutaenda tukiiba kawibo kazuri kakusema kwamba mambo ni mazuri.
Na sisi wote kuanzia MCA mpaka mimi na wale wengine wote tumechaguliwa hapa katikati na kuteuliwa, sisi ndio leadership ya Republic of Kenya, ndio? Na jukumu ya kupeleka Kenya mbele imewekwa, na ni kwa mapenzi ya Mungu imewekwa juu yetu. Na mimi nimewaeleza pale mbeleni, hakuna kiongozi anachaguliwa kwa bahati mbaya. Every leader is elected kwa sababu Mungu amependa hivyo. And we are sticking to our plan. And it is because tunataka kubadilisha siasa ya Kenya. Pale nyuma it was fashionable kusema maneno ambayo you don't believe in. Ukishapata nafasi ya uongozi unaenda unasahau, alafu unarudi tena unakuja kusema mambo mengine. What we are going to do this time round, we are going to implement our manifesto to the letter, because hatukuenda kwa wananchi kwenda kuwadanganya. Tulienda kuwaambia tutafanya program ya kuzalisha chakula, tutafanya program ya universal health coverage, tutafanya program ya housing, kupanga ajira ya vijana, tutafanya program ya digital super highway, tutafanya ile program ambayo itahakikisha kwamba wananchi wako na afya. And that is what we are doing. And I promise you, we are going to change Kenya. Hii Kenya itabadilika.
And Nyeri County Governor Mutahi Kahiga has called upon Nyeri political and religious leaders to embrace unity and shun political divisions while serving the community. Speaking during the 10th anniversary prayer breakfast in Nyeri, organized by Ecumenical Bishops' Council, Governor Kahiga said divisions among leaders from the county will lead to poor economic performance in the county. First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto, who attended the celebrations, hailed the celebrations and challenged the church leaders to remain neutral in politics. And our own Nelias Wanjiru with more details.
We honor you, we glorify you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Your word in Jeremiah 33:6 tells us, the Lord, you bring healing and health to the land. And this is our prayer as a county this morning.
Nyeri County political and religious leaders have been urged by the county governor Mutahi Kahiga to shun political divisions. This as the county marked its 10th prayer breakfast, an initiative of the county government and the Nyeri ecumenical leaders. Governor Kahiga said divisions among leaders from the county will lead to poor economic performance in the county.
Working as a team across every sector, the national government, the county assembly, the executive, the business community, all of us are working together. Really, not any human being should take the glory. It is God. In the 10 years we've been here praying, Nyeri has produced a deputy president.
The governor also challenged the religious leaders to take stand against political parties' wrangles and instead remain neutral, saying that this will bring unity among political leaders and the church.
Glory to God. In the 10 years that we have been here, Nyeri has produced a president who loves Nyeri. I will not talk about even the other officers we have, but you can see the value of prayer. And so, it is not also lost on me that it is very rare for churches to work together and the denominations, because some accuse others of fishing in their basket other than going to the ocean. Look at us here. So, my prayer is that we continue holding together, believing in the power of prayer, loving one another, and getting focused on where we are going. Thank you.
In a speech, First Lady Rachel Ruto urged the church to stand and pray for the family and the nation. She said the church should be a beacon of hope and should work together with the government and end political tension in the country.
Not overlook the significant role of the church in nation building. The church has been and is a beacon of hope in providing spiritual guidance and leadership, as well as a force for good in our society by running schools, hospitals, and various community programs. I encourage the church to pray for all arms of the county and national government and to also find ways to make our nation better. You can support various development programs by ensuring that congregations understand what the government is doing and the opportunities that they can take advantage of. Allow me to highlight a few areas in which I feel the church can work together with the government in support of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda better for the good of our nation and its people. Women are the biggest drivers of the small and medium enterprise sector, and access to funds is critical to enabling women to start and grow businesses. Women's economic empowerment is a topic close to my heart, and I aspire to see every woman given the skills, information, and opportunity to transform themselves, their families, and their communities through income-generating activities.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Nelias Wanjiru.
And with Nelias's report, we take a short commercial break. Do not touch that dial.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Nakupa ibada ya moyo wangu usiku wa leo.
Panda tukupandishe on Yo Entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value, utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV, love it.
This far, this far, this far, this far, this far, you bring our God.
To get Ebenezer by Jane Aller as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300023 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Ebenezer, you bring our God. Ebenezer, 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 oh, Ebenezer, you bring our God. This far.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live. Welcome back to the broadcast. Now moving on swiftly, EU Ambassador to Kenya Henriette Giga has visited Homa Bay County, where she is on a working tour with a focus on agriculture, climate change and economic investments. Over 3,000 farmers in Homa Bay will now have access to e-voucher platform, subsidized farm supplies, and additionally there was introduction of the Boost project that is boosting sustainable food production in Kenya, which will enable the farmers to obtain agricultural inputs through mobile technology. The goal of this project is to encourage investments in the county's green economy and climate-smart agriculture.
So our development cooperation is focusing in a big way on helping Kenya to transit to a green economy. And of course, this is most important for agriculture, which is the driving force here in Homa Bay. But as the governor was saying, it's my second time here, and I promised I will come back and bring our ambassadors here. And your motto is endless potential. And I think the partnership between Homa Bay and the European Union has endless potential. And you will see from our ambassadors that every member state of the European Union has something very special to offer. And this is what we want to bring together under the European Union, to be strong partners for Kenya and to be strong partners for Homa Bay.
Our role is to put Homa Bay out there into the ears and the eyes of the world. And I think that is what we have begun. It's a journey that has begun. So far, I want to thank the County Assembly of Homa Bay because we have been working to put in place policy and legal frameworks. We have been discussing, for example, investments in the green transition, for example. And Homa Bay now has, a policy, an act, a climate fund, and all the legal and regulatory framework that is required for this kind of investment. So that is a preparedness that we have put in place. In terms of incentivizing, we have, for example, worked hard to have a gazettement of a special economic zone so that investors coming in can get tax incentives that will be possible for them to have in other places. Because this is about people making decisions. Investment is about people making decisions.
Moving on swiftly, the National Helmet Wearing Coalition in partnership with FEAR Foundation has unveiled the findings of its study that examined safety issues within Kenya's motorcycle taxi sector. The study not only highlighted the adverse impact on boda riders and passengers, but also presented proactive solutions aimed at effectively addressing safety apprehensions regarding boda accidents in Kenya. Now, Kate and Diego with more details.
An investigation into the health costs of motorcycle taxi crashes in Kenya has been conducted, with results narrowing down to most boda operators not wearing helmets, hence fatal cases in case of accidents. During the launch of the study of health costs in motorcycle crashes in Kenya today, researcher Sam Clark cited reasons for the coalition's study of this crucial transport sector, emphasizing on the importance of having quality helmets for road safety. George Njao, Director General of NTSA, lauded the research for the human face it carried and touched on the launching of county transport safety committees to curb the issue at county levels. Dr. Gladys Nyatio, a researcher and a lecturer at Multimedia University, identified high-risk roads in the study and offered suggestions to address this concerning problem.
Since boda riding is one of the major sources of employment for young men in Kenya, it is important to ensure their safety as well as that of millions of passengers that use and access the road on a daily basis, especially after a recent research was conducted that revealed that only 15% of passengers and 63% of boda riders use safety helmets on their daily endeavors. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Kate Andiego.
And as Kenya continues to celebrating International Women's Day during Women's History Month, Taita Taveta County celebrated women in uniform serving as conservancies, rangers and scouts in 33 ranches across Taita Taveta. The women thanked Taita Taveta Wildlife Conservancies Association for advocating for women increased recruitment of rangers and scouts. According to the locals, human-wildlife conflict has reduced in the recent days following the hard work by rangers.
Tangu tulikuwa tunaongoza na wanaume na ilikuwa ni kazi ngumu kwa sababu malalamishi yetu yakifika kule mbele yalikuwa hayawezi kusikizika ama kutekelezwa. Kwa sababu gani? Ni mwanamke. Ataniambia nini? Huyu ni mke, huyu ni mwanamke, akimaliza shughuli zake anaenda nyumbani. Kesho na kesho kutwa ataoleka. Tunasema ile mwanaume anaweza fanya, hata mimi ninaweza fanya. Mwanaume akienda patrol, tuko nyuma yao. Akifanya ambush ya usiku, tuko nyuma yao. Akiingia kama ni patrol ya kufanya disneering, tuko nyuma yao. So hakuna kazi ya mwanaume ama ya mwanamke ambaye mimi mwenye nimevaa uniform siwezi fanya.
Jukumu yetu tukishatambua hizi vitu zinafanyika, ni vipi tunaweza ungana wote kama wanajamii. Hatusemi mwanamume ama mwanamke, tunakuja wote sasa kama wanajamii, vijana, wababa, kina mama. Ni vipi tunaweza shikana ndio itikadi hizi ambazo zinaturudisha nyuma tuzitoe ndio tuweze kusonga mbele.
And with that, we take a short commercial break, and when we get back, we will have our special segment for tonight. Stay tuned for more news updates.
Wewe ni Mungu usiyelala, na ibada yangu nakupa wewe Bwana.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Sijaona kama wewe umepigana vita zangu, nakupa ibada ya moyo wangu usiku wa leo.
Panda tukupandishe on New Entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value, utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV, love it.
This far, this far, this far, this far, this far, you've been our God.
To get Ebenezer by Jane Allaire as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300023 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Ebenezer, you bring our God. Ebenezer, 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 oh, Ebenezer, you bring our God. This far.
Aya, I'm not go TV stream. It's free.
GoTV Stream iko mkononi na ni free. Download GoTV Stream app for free. Enjoy live TV na shows kamia nane. Download and watch later anytime, anywhere. GoTV Stream iko mkononi na ni free. Available to active subscribers. GoTV, love it.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo. Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
So this parent calls me after service and says, "Young man, you do not know what you've done," because tells me that my son comes and tells me that, "Dad, I have also been struggling with ABCD. His was a mix of alcohol and pornography. And just hearing Justo on Route 104, I feel a young person like me give his testimony on how God has moved in his life." And I requested to meet the young man, and we met over coffee, became good friends. And I told him as well, listen, by me sharing does not mean, because the devil puts banana peels all over. Scripture tells us that, no weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. It doesn't say that weapons will not be fashioned. No, it says no weapon. It means weapons will be fashioned. And he will put traps all over. Right from your phone. You open Instagram, you see an image. And all of a sudden, it plays back. All those things. So that's another, because the battle is in the mind. That is why Paul says in Romans 12:1, not be conformed by the patterns of the world, but rather be transformed by the renewing of the mind. He knows it's here. The devil knows. And this guy is millions of years old. He's not our age mate. For those who remember when I used to tell like that on night, he's not your age mate. Stop saying that, me, I know that you have been saved for 15 years. Dude, the devil has been in existence for millions of years. So guess what? He knows everything about you. Okay? But greater is he that is in you than he was. We walked together, and I'm happy to say that he found his deliverance, and he became also a peer champion as it is, an educator. And for me, those are some of the things that, wow, without Hope FM, I mean, really the platform of Hope FM, and as Reverend Tombo used to tell us as well, this is a platform not for you, but God is using you. The initiative Friends of Hope is more or less like what Romans 10:17 says, that faith comes only by the hearing, and hearing through the word of God. But how will they hear if somebody does not go to tell them? Think about that Muslim brother or sister who, because of you being a friend of Hope and supporting with your 100 bob or whatever it is, that in Friday evening, by chance, they listen to Yesu Ndiye Njia. And then because of you supporting and being a friend of Hope, the message will reach them in Zanzibar, in Mombasa, in whatever it is. Mimi ni Rafiki Mso. I'm a friend of Hope. I'm just a Zawaka. I would like for you pia ukwe Rafiki Mso.
Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station, offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild, out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements, and we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the Word?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Watu wa Mungu, Bire the vocalist hapa, and I'm just here to give you a testament. I am a living testimony of the slogan of Hope FM, where they say, listen and live. I am such a serious testimony and a testament to that statement, because they have impacted my life big time. And imagine ile kitu wanauliza ni ati the way they have impacted my life and your life. Tunaweza jaribu pia to spread hii kitu mpaka huko mashinani, to spread hii word ya God huko mashinani. And the only thing they're requesting us to do is just contribute 100 bob. We just become partners with them. Na unapatana tu na bob moja. Lakini pia kama una feel uko philanthropic sana, unaweza piga jili mbili. Twende hivyo, eh? All right? And so they are calling it 100 for one, where you just give out 100 bob and they can reach out to another soul. And of course mnauliza, okay, tuko na iso tunatuma wapi? Iso tunatuma via M-Pesa na tuko na P-bill number. P-bill number yetu ni 933. Alafu hapo kwa account name, alright? Andika tu FOH, yani Friends of Hope. Alafu tuma ile kitu natuma. Hapo mbele ni pin number yako na ni siri yako. Alafu tumeshamaliza hii kitu. Click on the send. Na imagine utakuwa umefanya kitu moja serious sana. We as Hope Media tutakuwa tumereach out to one soul. God bless you. Be there.
Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station, offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild, out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements, and we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
So this parent calls me, sits after service and says, "Young man, you do not know what you've done," because tells me that my son comes and tells me that, "Dad, I have also been struggling with ABCD. His was a mix of alcohol and pornography. And just hearing Justo on Route 104, a fellow young person like me, gave his testimony on how God has moved in his life. And I requested to meet the young man, and we met over coffee, became good friends. And I told him as well, listen, by me sharing does not mean, because the devil puts banana peels all over. Scripture tells us that, no weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. It doesn't say that weapons will not be fashioned. No, it says no weapon. It means weapons will be fashioned. And he will put traps all over. Right from your phone. You open Instagram, you see an image. And all of a sudden, it plays back. All those things. So that's another, because the battle is in the mind. That is why Paul says in Romans 12:1, not be conformed by the patterns of the world, but rather be transformed by the renewing of the mind. He knows it's here. The devil knows. And this guy is millions of years old. He's not our age mate. For those who remember when I used to tell like that at night, he's not your age mate. Stop saying that, me, I know, and you have been saved for 15 years. Dude, the devil has been in existence for millions of years. So guess what? He knows everything about you. Okay? But greater is he that is in you. We walked together, and I'm happy to say that he found his deliverance, and he became also a peer champion, as it is, an educator. And for me, those are some of the things that, wow, without Hope FM, really the platform of Hope FM, and as Reverend Tombo used to tell us as well, this is a platform not for you, but God is using you. The initiative Friends of Hope is more or less like what Romans 10:17 says, that faith comes only by the hearing, and hearing through the word of God. But how will they hear if somebody does not go to tell them? Think about that Muslim brother or sister who, because of you being a friend of Hope and supporting with your 100 bob or whatever it is, that in Friday evening, by chance, they listen to Yesu Ndianjia. And then because of you supporting and being a friend of Hope, the message will reach them in Zanzibar, in Mombasa, in whatever it is. Mimi ni Rafiki Mso. I'm a friend of Hope. I'm just a Zawaka. I would like for you pia ukwe Rafiki Mso.
Wewe ni Mungu usiyelala, na ibada yangu nakupa wewe Bwana.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Sijaona kama wewe umepigana vita zangu, nakupa ibada ya moyo wangu usiku wa leo.
Panda tukupandishe on Yo Entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value, utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV, love it.
This far, this far, this far, this far, this far, you've been our God.
To get Ebenezer by Jane Allaire as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 8830.
And on tonight's segment, I'm joined by Teresa Njoroge, CEO and founder of Clean State Kenya. Now, thank you so much for joining us for this bulletin, and we can delve deep into, International Women's Day theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress.
Happy International Women's Month, Gloria, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here. This is one of my favorite months when we get to celebrate women, because at Clean Start Africa, we work primarily with women, girls, and children. For us, it's women who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. So in prisons, reintegrating and rebuilding their lives post imprisonment, and also to see how best we prevent them going through that criminal justice pathway.
Happy International Women's Day to you too.
Thank you. Thank
now,
you very
maybe
much.
when we begin, you can tell me what inspired you to start this particular organization.
What inspired me was actually a pain point when I got firsthand impacted by the criminal justice system, just seeing how avoidable, how unfair, and how left behind women are who go through the criminal justice system. When I personally went through a miscarriage of justice through the criminal justice system. So that firsthand experience of being falsely accused, maliciously prosecuted, and ending up being wrongfully incarcerated to serve a sentence, a 1-year sentence with my daughter, that firsthand experience, my own, and then witnessing what other hundreds of women go through, and then seeing the many challenges on one hand, but on the other hand, seeing the many opportunities of making it better is what inspired me to set up Clean Start.
Thank you so much for your response. And maybe now as we continue, during that particular time when you were incarcerated, how did it feel like for you as an individual? Because now you're from your particular normal life, and now this is a new environment that you're facing, and as you've mentioned, with a child. So what was that like for you?
You know, I'm so glad that you asked that question, because as so many conversations are going on, we're celebrating International Women's Month, so many research projects are being done, policies, and so on and so forth. There are millions of women, as we sit right here, who are suffering as they go through the prison system. You know, as we celebrate this International Women's Month globally, the prison population for women and girls, it is at 740,000, close to 1 million. And this population is growing up, is growing at a pretty high rate. Since 2000, the prison population has grown by 60%. And these are women who are vulnerable, these are women who are marginalized, and these are women who have been through very difficult pathways that have led them to the criminal justice system. And let me tell you something, prison is not a place where you take someone to then think about how better you could have done it, because the trauma that these women and girls go through, it's very difficult in prison. And undoing the trauma, undoing the wounds that these women, girls, and children go through when they're taken to prison, if it ever heals, it takes a very long time and it's very expensive. In short, to say that if we can find a different route to handle the social economic issue that has led the woman to commit the petty offense like hawking or loitering and many other petty offenses, because a lot of these women go to prison due to non-violent offenses. Let us truly take them on different pathways and not to prison, because prison is very tough for women, and especially as caregivers of their families. So I would say it's not easy. Prison is not easy. Yeah.
Now, maybe let's bring it locally. As you've mentioned that there's a higher percentage of women in prison because of petty offenses. And I remember the previous Interior Cabinet Secretary, Matiang'i, he had actually put out a gazette notice to have most of the petty offenders to be removed from prison. So as your organization, have you made observations that that has been put in place? Because now there's been an influx of actual prisoners locally which is also a disadvantage to the prison system, and how things now happen in that particular sector?
Another amazing question. Thank you, Gloria. In addition to observing how the decongestion and diversion of those who are incarcerated works, we've actually participated in supporting in that decongestion. As lately as December, we received some women from Langata Women Maximum Prison who were released through the decongestion community service orders efforts. And we received them back into society through our organization to support them rebuild their lives post-imprisonment. Because without support to reintegrate back into society, then that makes the decongestion and the diversion not work, because the women will go back to the very same root cause of what took them to prison in the first place. If she was hawking, she'll go back to hawking. If she was loitering, she'll go back to loitering. Actually, when they leave prison, it's much worse, because now they even have a criminal record on top of being poor and not having employment and other support. So, yes, Honorable Matiang'i, former Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior, and many other leaders, including our current Honorable Chief Justice, Lady Justice Martha Koome, who has such forward-looking visions, i.e. the STARGE, social transformation through access to justice, a vision that she has launched and continues to implement to see to it that there is access to justice that brings social transformation in Kenya, which is incredible and phenomenal. What I would say is that while all these phenomenal visions and plans and programs are being implemented, we need to come together and collaborate and address the root causes of why primarily the women came to the criminal justice system in the first place. The common denominator is poverty. Poverty is one of the driving root causes of why these women are coming to prison. Poverty, the unemployment, underemployment, sexual gender-based violence, the lack of access to justice because they cannot afford legal representation, mental illnesses, and so on and so forth. And then while those are things they do, there's also then the penal code, which allows for these petty offenses to be criminalized, so that if a woman is arrested loitering, she's then convicted on the according to the penal code and taken to prison. So we need to look at it two ways. One, the social economic issues that these women are committing that have been criminalized, we need to decriminalize them. So for instance, loitering is not a crime, or hawking in the street. Those are activities that are no harm to society, meaning we can correct them in other ways other than taking them to prison. So if we do that, then we're going to make sure that in the very first place, these people are not ending up in prison. Secondly, they're not going to congest those prisons. And then thirdly, they're not being separated from their children and from their families. And then fourth, they're not being traumatized, and the taxpayers' money is not being used to correct things that would have otherwise been corrected in another way. In other words, we could have used the taxpayers' money in a better manner.
Yeah.
While that is said and done, on the side of the system, we need to make sure that we delete all the penal offenses that no longer serve us, loitering, hawking, and many other petty offenses that are in our penal code that no longer serve us. And then when it comes to other levels within the criminal justice system, then we should apply diversion, alternative dispute resolutions. There are just so many options that can be used to see to it that the poor and vulnerable amongst us in society don't end up in prison. And the more we continue not doing what we're supposed to do in all these areas, the more we continue to see to it that 74% of people in prison are the poor who committed petty offenses. And what does that mean? That means that rehabilitation is not taking place the way it is meant to take place in those prisons. So those prisons are not even doing the job they're meant to do, which is to keep those who are danger to society away from society, one. Two, to rehabilitate them so that the time they'll be ready to come back to society, they're ready to come and continue living with us in society. That job can't be done well if we're taking every Tom, Dick, and Harry we find to prison. But if we remove the poor, those who are not harmed to society, and continue correcting them and investing in them while they're in society, prisons will be able to do their work and they'll be able to do it well. But while it is congested, this plan is not working.
Yeah, I caught something when you told me that you are actually in a vulnerable position where it was not only you who got arrested, but now you had to come with your own daughter. Now, your daughter didn't partake in whatever crime you were accused of or pushed to. So, were there maybe measures put in place to protect your daughter or even women who are in prison and also in the same situation where they have children at a certain age who are accompanying them? Are there measures that have been put in place or policies to be able to protect that particular child? Are there dietetic, maybe diets that have put in place so that they can also be able to support them in specific ways?
There has been quite some progression on the right. We're on the right path in the sense that even the former Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Matiang'i, before he was done with his term, launched the children of incarcerated parents policy in July of 2022. So that policy was launched, and there's so much more further progress that is being made to see to it that children of incarcerated parents are being taken care of. But while I say that, and in the very beginning of this conversation, I said, even as we're developing policies and coming up with so many plans, there are so many women, girls, and children who are still suffering, even as we have this conversation. And what do I mean by that? You know, Gloria, today, even as we're coming up with all these progressive policies, there are lives of people who are in danger. Today, the 11th of March 2024, there's a woman who was incarcerated today, whose children are all by themselves tonight. Even as we're coming up with all these policies, that child tomorrow will not have something to eat, tonight, they will not have someone to protect them. Their schooling is endangered because mom was probably arrested while trying to fend for this child, but now mom has been taken away. Who has been left caring for this child? And so, to answer your question, I would say, while on one hand, there has been some progress in terms of policies, programs being developed, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done for this invisible, innocent child who it's not their crime, yet it is their sentence because we're punishing the mother. These children suffer a lot, you know, and there's no one caring for them other than a few stakeholders who offer of themselves to care for these children. We have not seen a comprehensive government approach to care for children of incarcerated parents, whether the parent is a father or whether the parent is a mother who has now been put into prison. But even as we look at that, Gloria, I am tempted to ask a question. Why put the child in danger's way, separated from the primary caregiver, the mother or the father, for something that has an alternative? Why primarily separate that child from their primary caregiver for an action that the parent was involved in that is no harm to society? For example, the father or the mother was found loitering, or they were found hawking in the streets. Why separate that parent from the child, lock them up in prison, and then now start figuring out how to care for this child through institutions or through secondary caregivers? It really doesn't make sense. Why not empower this father or this mother to then be able to be in a position to care for their child? You see, the long and short of what I'm trying to argue here is that we will never be able to solve our social economic issues using a criminal justice lens. The only thing the criminal justice lens does is to make the situation worse, because you've removed that parent, left this child by themselves, you've set this child up for failure. This is the child you will then find in the streets loitering. Then you will find them, because of loitering, in the juvenile facilities. From juvenile facilities, they will then join adult prisons, and so on and so forth. So there was no justice there in the very first place.
Maybe now, with you explaining that it has a ripple effect from the parents to their children and even to maybe their various family members who they might have been under their care, maybe what are some of the recommendations that you can give to the respective authorities and the government as a whole to be able to at least take a step into assisting to make things easier and better for the society and also to the affected families of the particular individual who has been incarcerated?
Number one, prison is not a solution for petty offenders. Prison is not a solution for people who are hawking, people who are loitering, people who are unemployed, people who are who do not have education opportunities, people who have misdemeanors. Prison is not the solution. So, to the authorities, our city council, Kanjo, as we call them, and all the other duty bearers, right holders, we are calling on you. And right now, I wear my hat of being a formerly incarcerated woman, standing in the gap of hundreds and hundreds of other formerly incarcerated women in this country. Arresting us because we were hawking or because we were loitering or any other misdemeanor is not the solution to the problem and the root cause that took me to hawking. So, and to other even higher authorities, let us not apply the criminal justice lens to our social economic issues. If we have youth who are unemployed, the solution is not taking them to industrial area, remand section or into prison there, because rounding them up and filling those prisons. That is not the solution. Let us find ways in which we can invest in our youth and the many other people who are unemployed, and we're not just talking. As Clean Start, we have set up a textile hub where some of these women come and earn a living, and many other economic empowerment solutions. Because you know what? Even if we go and train them and they don't have a job when they leave prison, they're going to go right back, because they're going to come out, they need food, let's take care of the basic needs of any human being. Food, number one. Then we move to clothing, then we move to shelter. After we have addressed the basic needs of the human being, then we can move to the secondary ones. And we cannot address problems of, those basic needs of a human being. We can't address those ones by imprisoning people. They're only going to get more hungrier. They're only going to feel more naked, and so on and so forth. So I'd conclude my long explanation. Let's not address social economic issues using the criminal justice approach. The second one, non-custodial sentences are sentences as well. Alternative dispute resolutions are ways to also handle issues in our community. A custodial sentence is not the only way to address a dispute. It's not the only way to punish someone. You can give them a community service order. You can give them a probation sentence, and the probation sentence works. And let the duty bearers and the right holders work together. The judiciary, national police service, the local administration, Let us all work together. If a woman was fighting with another woman, it's not a must that prosecution ensures that that woman has been locked up in prison. She can be given a probation sentence. She will continue taking care of her family, and she will be punished one way or the other as she serves government. Instead of government using taxpayers' money, she works for government for free as she serves her community service order. Tomorrow, she's not going to fight with the other woman. Taking her to prison is not the only solution. So let us look for other ways of correcting our misdemeanors. A prison sentence is not the only way of correcting people. Yeah.
Yeah, now moving on swiftly, as Clean Start organization, how do you get to identify formerly incarcerated women and girls, and take us through the process? When you do, what happens? What specific programs do you offer? And how do you try to ensure that you have achieved something positive in their lives that they can too also pass it on to other people in the society?
So we're in this for the long haul. And what we have done is that we have come up with a comprehensive system that works. We call our system the Ufunuo system. Yeah, kufunuka, and to thrive once again. So beginning to end, when we touch that woman while she is in prison, she goes through our Ufunuo system. We've got quite a number of women who have been through our Ufunuo system in various correctional facilities for women. Now, after they have graduated from the Ufunuo system, they then, on the date of release, we've got our women who go to pick those women on the date of release at the prison gate. They then join what we call Sisters on the Outside. That is a movement that we have built, a movement of formerly imprisoned women. It's a coalition of formerly imprisoned women in Africa, actually, because it's not just formerly imprisoned women in Kenya, but in various countries on the African continent as well. When they join the Sisters on the Outside movement, we have what we call chapters. So for instance, we've got the Kisumu chapter, we've got the Homa Bay chapter, we've got the Mombasa chapter, we've got the Wundanyi chapter, the Nakuru chapter, and so on and so forth across the country. In those chapters, they go through various lessons, including advocacy, but most importantly, even as they heal, because prison breaks you. And so in these chapters, when they come together with their other sisters, they are healing, they are finding community, because there's a lot of stigmatization for people coming out of prisons without even wanting to understand what took this woman to prison in the very first place. They can't find work because they can't even get a certificate of good conduct, which is something else we keep wondering. Why is it after I have served my sentence, which means I have paid for the crime that I had committed? So let's say I was hawking, now I've been put into prison. Why is it when I come out, I can't get a certificate of good conduct to enable me find decent work? Because if I can't find that decent employment, what am I going to do? I'm going to hawk. I'm going to find other ways of survival. So it's during those meetings in their chapters that they find what would be best for us to do as a community. Is it starting a salon? Is it starting a restaurant? Is it getting a textile hub? And now Clean Start steps in to support in the formation and search for the capital to run those businesses. And then continue being in touch with them to make sure that they do not go back into prison. So that is how we ensure that decongestion is working, diversion is working, recidivism is low, and also educating community and society that people who come out of prison deserve a second chance. Also, educating society, do not commit this manner of crimes, because we loitered, we hawked, we ended up in prison. So creating awareness in community of what people should not do, so that they do not get, they do not get into the long arm of the law. And then in addition to that, ensuring that people are staying away from the criminal justice system. Yeah.
And now still, as we are continuing to celebrate International Women's Day under the theme Inspire Inclusion, maybe can you share with us a success story of some of the members who have been part of Clean Start and have received the second chance to know that they are not defined by the offenses that they were paying for, but now that they are outside, they can actually now make good out of their future in life?
Indeed, it gives me so much joy. It gives me so much pleasure to celebrate these very resilient, phenomenal women, because I call them trailblazers in the sense that they never had the first chance to begin with. Because if you look at their pathways of how they ended up there, they had dropped out of school because they didn't get opportunities to go to join higher learning. They did not get opportunities for employment. They never had a first chance. They were a victim of sexual gender-based violence. And you know, they were not looked at as a victim. They were not looked at as someone who did not have an opportunity. And you know, Gloria, even as we sentence these women, I think it's important for us to listen to the pathways that led them to that courtroom or to that prison in the very first place. They're not criminals, most of them. But having said that, you know, once they've been through that very traumatizing path of prosecution and then being taken into prisons, which can really, really break you. I want to celebrate, you know, the many women, those who are working in our textile hub, for example. I mean, there are tens of them, you know, who have rebuilt their lives and are earning some decent income through very difficult circumstances, but right now they can make you some amazing Ankara bags, some amazing kimonos, and just beautiful, amazing Ankara stuff that they make at the textile center. There is another lot of women who have trained as tilers, as carpenters, as plumbers, as painters. And you know, as I celebrate these women who have done incredibly well, I want to urge people out there, if you've got jobs, you know, whether you want painters, whether you want tilers, whether you want carpenters, whether you want people who can make some amazing clothing, bags, and so on and so forth, some incredible ladies who do incredible African cuisines. They cook for you and you're like, wow, you know, we've got all these women who are doing all this amazing work, and I celebrate them today. And for people out there, if you would love to make your orders, or you would love to employ them, or you would love to partner with Clean Start, you know, just hit us up on at our website, cleanstartafrica.org. Just get in touch with us and let us know that you would like to invest in some of these women, to start a bakery in Nakuru for them, to start a textile center in Mombasa for them, to start an aquaculture for fish farming in Kisumu for them, you know, and so on and so forth. There are so many of these women who are looking for opportunities, even as I celebrate those who are already making an income. Yeah.
And now, even as we're about to wind up, maybe what are some of the long-term goals or short-term goals that you have put in place as Clean Start, maybe to expand and be able to reach out to more people who have been formerly incarcerated?
Okay, so 3 things. First and foremost is definitely investing in these women to be well skilled, you know, to get these skills in a manner that when they get placed in our economic hubs, they are well, you know, prepared and they're ready to come and work and produce competitive products. Yeah. So that is one area of investment for our women, for our young girls, and so on and so forth, that we really want to see that we've partnered with the various government agencies and other individual stakeholders, corporates, MSMEs, to see to it that these women have gotten mentorship and training. And then beyond that, we would also want to partner long-term with corporates, you know, MSMEs, individuals, government agencies, to invest in this business production centers that we are coming up with, whether it's textile, whether it's a bakery, whether it's the aquaculture, whether it's the fashion and design, whether it's for the cuisines, investing in these businesses across the country for women and girls who are coming out of prisons to work in those centers. Yeah. And then, of course, the third one is let us get serious and divert people from ending up within the criminal justice system. It is doable and we can do it. We don't need all these hundreds of people that we're sending to prisons to continue breaking them for no good reason. They don't need to be there. We can invest in them while they're on the outside. So let's invest in diversion and rerouting people to alternative dispute resolutions, to TVETs and other colleges, as opposed to handing these young people sentences. They're not criminals. Just because they don't have a job doesn't amount to the fact that they are a criminal. No, let's ensure they have joined a TVET somewhere and they're well engaged. And then let's invest in opportunities where they can earn a living, and offer them the proper training that they require. Let's do what we're meant to do and not joke around with people's lives. Yeah, because I believe the government has resources for these citizens of Kenya. We're paying taxes to ensure to see to it that people are well engaged.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and let's not play around with people's lives just because they are poor and vulnerable. And just because they are poor and vulnerable, we just throw them into prison. No. These are fellow Kenyans. We should care about them. This International Women's Month, we're talking about inspire inclusion. Yes. Let's include them, and even as we clap and tap our backs and say that we have included, let us think and ask ourselves, who have we not included? Have we thought about the women in prisons? Have we thought about those who are coming out of prisons? Have we thought about those without opportunities? Or we're just sitting comfortably in our spaces and saying, we have inspired inclusion. How? By taking action. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I can see you're so passionate about caring about your fellow brother and sister. And now, as we wind up, maybe to our viewers, how can you maybe advise them on the various societal issues that we face as Kenyans, them also having access to formerly incarcerated people or families that have been affected to that particular thing, and also maybe a word of encouragement to also the affected families, the children who might actually be viewing, and to that particular person who's viewing and they feel like they've lost hope, they have no other clean slate to start life after paying their dues. Just something to encourage them.
What I would say, Gloria, is that, and to our dear listener, is that before we go to judge people and tell them what they should be doing, maybe we could extend some empathy to them. Understand where people are coming from. You might see that woman selling tomatoes in the streets, that girl loitering, doesn't seem to have any direction. Before you bundle them up and throw them up in a van and take them to a cell somewhere, try and understand, why is this woman putting her potatoes in the middle of the road? And I'm not advocating for lawlessness. Even I want order in our cities. Yeah, even I want orders, and I understand we need a city that is clean and that is full of order. But can we get to understand what desperation has led this person here? Extend some empathy to them. And it's the same thing I will say to someone out there in a corporate organization, someone who is wondering, for International Women's Month, what do we do? There are many organizations you can partner with. Clean Start is one of those, where you can come, partner with us, and we will show you how your corporate can extend their celebration for International Women's Month with women who have never been included, children who have been forgotten, children who are truly by themselves because their parent is incarcerated, and is incarcerated not because they are a criminal, but because they were trying to fend for those very children. Young girls without opportunities for education who genuinely need a second chance. And we will show you how to inspire inclusion, how to invest in women, girls and children, and how to accelerate progress. And if you have been impacted one way or the other, whether it's by the criminal justice system or by poverty or the high unemployment rates have really eaten into you. You know, these days we are throwing around the word hustler very carelessly, you know. Indeed, you truly do not have some decent means of livelihood. I want to encourage you. And tell you that, you know what? Search for organizations like Clean Start or many others within the society who have offered of themselves to collaboratively with other government agencies, faith-based organizations, you know, do something to make it better for those who truly don't have opportunities and they need those opportunities. But for those who have those opportunities, let's truly stop talking much and get to doing, because the future belongs to the doers. We can talk all we want, but the future belongs to the doers. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was such an interactive and informative discussion. I feel like we've not even debunked half of everything that we'd have had in this discussion. Thank you so much for coming. And I celebrate you once again. Happy International Women's Day, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us, and thank you for voicing the voices of imprisoned and formerly imprisoned women.
Thank you so much. Now with that, we take a short commercial break, then we'll be back with the business news.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
Panda tukupandishe on your entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value. Utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows una like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
And Safaricom has launched the Grow with Safaricom Business Engagement Platform for micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, that will offer them an opportunity for knowledge sharing and collaboration in order to scale their businesses. The engagement forums will be held through a series of workshops and seminars throughout the year where MSMEs will exchange ideas on how they will leverage digital technologies to enhance their market reach, streamline operations, and create a strong brand presence online.
Kenya has nearly 7.5 million businesses or side hustles. Okay? 7.5 million businesses or side hustles. But if you look at those that are formally structured, or you look for signals of who is representing themselves as a business, either in the banking world or has registered as a company, it's only about 1.2, 1.4 million. So over 5.5 million businesses are operating in very informal structures. So that's the first statistic, right? Over 7.5 million businesses, but the majority of them are operating in informal structures. The majority of businesses in Kenya earn less than 50,000 shillings a month. The vast majority are less than 50,000 shillings a month, or about 500,000 shillings a year. That's the second statistic. The majority of our small businesses are earning less than 500,000 shillings a year. And if you look globally, and it's no different in Kenya, small businesses generate or account for more than 90% of the jobs in the country. It's the same in Kenya, and if you go into any other continent, if you go into any other country, you will find more than 70% of the jobs are created and supported by small business. So you as small business owners are the engine that drives the economy of this country. And therefore, you play a vital role in the well-being and the growth of this country. If you then take that statistic and say, okay, we know how many businesses we have in Kenya, we understand the statistic, the small businesses, you sitting in this room are part of the engine that employs or provides the financial wherewithal for the majority of people in this country. Let's start looking and comparing how we sit on the world stage.
NCBA, in collaboration with Homa Bay County, has hosted over 100 SME customers for a customer dinner in Homa Bay County to mark International Women's Day. The dinner celebrated the achievements of women in business within the county and provided them with a platform to share their views on topical issues, including opportunities in the SME sector, women's empowerment, and financial literacy.
What we've been able to establish is that this region form a significant part of this region in terms of from a GDP perspective, and so we feel that we have a part to play in supporting the SMEs and specifically women in this region, ensuring that at least we scale up their businesses and be able to bring them up and be able to make them be stand on their own and even support them from where they operate.
Their coming in is a real boost to our theme because it's really going to accelerate progress. Because most of our women engage in businesses, small and micro enterprises, that is their livelihood. Most of them are faced by challenges that bar them from achieving their goals because of lack of access to financial institutions. So I believe with the coming of NCBA, they're going to open a door to train, to educate and create awareness to our women and show them the pathways through which they can get access to finances.
On local sports news, Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Sasha Mutai is reading mischief in 2 motions of no confidence on his leadership style, citing a conspiracy by a few members seeking to stage a coup to loot and leave the KRU high and dry. The 2 rugby clubs, one in Kisumu County and the other in Bungoma County, have lodged a motion of no confidence to remove him from the position of the Kenya Rugby Union chairman just a year since he assumed office as KRU's chairman. Mutai has dismissed allegations that he failed to use internal dispute resolution processes under the ambit of the KRU constitution to deal with the internal feuds.
Unfortunately, in Kenya, with all the talent that we have and the federations, we've seen all these allegations of corruption, whether it's in any sport. I won't name them, we know all of them. I don't want to be sued. I've been in court fighting for KRU. And as I said, even when we came into office, sports needs to be played on the pitch, on the grounds, not in courtrooms. Unfortunately, we've been dragged there, but we face all court processes, we obey court orders, You saw there's a court order that came out this week on athletics and all that. We follow. Whatever is the judgment, we have to follow, because we are law-abiding citizens. And as law-abiding citizens and wazalendo wa nchi, we have to make sure that we fight corruption in every sector. I always said, in my sphere of influence, I will do what I can as a citizen of this country to fix things the right way and not to complain. And right now, I'm in the midst of that fight. And believe me, I'm taking that fight strong and hard. And I'm actually enjoying that fight, because I know at the end of it, yes, I shall be successful together with my team and with God behind us doing the right thing. We shall help this country in our way in sports, particularly in rugby.
Right. Many thanks to you for tuning in to Hope TV Newswatch. Have a blessed night. I'm Gloria Musimbi, and on the sign language interpretation has been Boniface Murithi.